Good morning, dear students. Let's start with class 8 history, chapter 3, ruling the countryside. Now children, countryside means rural areas. So the Britishers, that East India Company, they ruled the countryside, means rural areas. In this chapter we will read how East India Company, after becoming Diwan of Bengal, earned its revenue by formulating some new method of revenue collection. So how they have generated the money and collected the money, we will see. So let's begin the chapter. On 12th August 1765, the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II granted the Diwani right to Bengal to East India Company. So we have already studied in chapter 2 how this British East India Company, they got the Diwani rights. This was granted after Battle of Buxar in 1764. This was signed by Shah Alam II and Robert Clive. You can see in the picture Robert Clive and Shah Alam II. Now the company became the chief financial administrator of Bengal. When the company achieved the right of Diwani, the responsibility of administering the land and organizing its revenue also came on the shoulder of the company. So as they became the Diwan, so they got the responsibility of administrating the land, means taking care, administration work of the region, and even they have to collect the revenue from that area. Not only this, it had to ensure that it could buy the products it needed at cheaper rates and sell them at higher rates. Over the years, the company had also learned how to play safe in an unknown land, that is India. Now here what I mean is that company had to pacify those who were the early rulers of the countryside. Means the rulers which were ruling those times in those areas. It was not possible to eliminate them completely. So the company did the following thing. What they did is they organized its revenue resources, then to yield crops it needed. That means they started agriculture and then colonizing the countryside. That's what we are going to study further in this chapter. Now our next topic is revenue for the company. So children, though the company became Diwan of Bengal provinces, still it was working as a trading company. It was not interested in setting up any regular system of assessment and collection of revenue. Their main aim was to increase revenue so that they had plenty of money to buy cotton and silk, but the price of the goods had increased so far. So you can see the picture how they are deciding, how the British company people, they are deciding how they can earn more money, how they can grow strong financially. Now we have studied in previous chapter that earlier the company was dependent upon the inflow of gold and silver from Britain for purchasing goods in India. But after 1765 things changed, and now the revenue from Bengal was enough to purchase goods. So now they used to get the money from Britain, but now they get sufficient money revenue from the Bengal, their area, so they could purchase all the goods from here. But here also a big problem arose. Now what was this problem? The economy of Bengal faced a deep crisis because of the following. Artisans left Bengal as they were being forced by the company to sell their products at cheaper rates. So this was the one reason of deep crisis in Bengal. The artisan left Bengal and peasants were unable to pay the heavy dues laid on them, and the farmers, they were not able to pay so much revenue as tax which they had to pay, and agriculture was collapsing. So these were the reason, and big famine of 1770 hit Bengal. You can see in the picture, children, here. This killed about 10 million population there, washed out about 1/3 of the population of Bengal. So as such incidents took place which ruined the economy heavily, the company then felt the need to improve the agriculture. So these all were the reasons. Okay, the peasants, they were unable to pay the heavy dues, taxes, the agriculture was collapsing, and there was a big famine, and even the artisan, they left Bengal. So these all were the reasons of the deep crisis on Bengal. And then the Britishers, they felt that they should improve the agriculture, and then only they will generate some money. Now we come to the next topic, that is the need to improve agriculture. So they felt that there should be improvement in agriculture. So most of the company officials were of the view that there was a great need of investing in the land and agriculture. So in order to improve it, because the fall in agriculture was resulting into great loss of revenue to the company. So they thought there was a great loss, so they should do something and invest on land and agriculture. Therefore, after a long thinking, in 1793, the company took the decision of introducing the revenue collection method known as permanent settlement. So children, this permanent settlement was introduced by Charles Cornwallis. Can you see in the picture who was the Governor General of India? So this permanent settlement was introduced by Charles Cornwallis. So as per the settlement, now what was the meaning of the settlement was that the Rajas and the Talukdars were now known as the Zamindars, and they had to collect the rent from peasants which was fixed permanently by the Britishers. So these Rajas and Talukdars were known as Zamindars, and they used to collect the rent from the farmers, these peasants, and they used to collect from them, farmers, and give to the Britishers. So the main aim behind this was that Zamindar will only pay the fixed amount to Britishers. So some fixed amount was kept as a tax, and that Zamindar used to collect from the farmers and he used to give to the Britishers. Since the demand of revenue will not increase and will invest into the improvement of agriculture to generate extra income for themselves. It did not go as per the plan, and the following problem arose. So they thought that extra money, whichever they will earn extra money, these Zamindars will use for the development of agriculture. But their plan failed, and there was no development in the agriculture. No improvement was there in agriculture. Now the problem which arose, we will see what was the problem. So the next topic is the problem. So the permanent settlement, however, did not prove to be that useful as thought by the company. Soon it was discovered that zamindars were not investing in the improvement of land. So what Britishers thought was not, the plan was not successful, and zamindar was not taking any initiative to improve the agriculture, improve the land, because the rent fixed was so high that it became impossible for the zamindar to pay it off. As a result, they were deprived of zamindaris. So those zamindar who were not able to give these revenues, so the zamindaris were taken away from them. Even the zamindaris were also put on auction by the company. Meanwhile, something new was noticed by the company, that the situation was changing as the price of the goods were increasing, and slowly but gradually the agriculture was also expanding. So slowly they saw that agriculture was expanding. This led to benefit of zamindars, but for the company it remained same as the revenue was fixed, because these Britishers, they have fixed the amount. So these zamindars were giving them that fixed amount, and the extra amount which they were earning, they were keeping with themselves only, these zamindars. So these Britishers were getting only fixed amount, and the extra amount they were not getting. Even the zamindars were not keen to invest in improvement of agriculture, and with this money, these zamindars were not improving the agriculture, because they were gaining a lot without putting any effort in the form of the rent that they obtained from the peasants, farmers. So now what happened? They were earning money without doing any effort. They were relaxing and just collecting the rent from the farmers. So they were gaining lot of money without any effort taken by these zamindars. On the other hand, the cultivators found it extremely oppressive, as they had to pay very high rent to zamindars. So these farmers, they were feeling very much, they were extremely oppressive. Why? Because they have to pay such a high amount to the zamindars, though they did not have ownership over the land that they worked on. Even the ownership of the land was on zamindars. Zamindars were the real owners, and they were not having, these farmers were not having the ownership. So you can see in the picture, children, here. Okay, can you see? They were not able to give the money. And see, this lady is saying, you know, we can't pay you. The zamindar is sitting there, and this farmer is sitting down. Can you see what am I to do now? He's asking the question. He's not able to give the rent. To pay the rent, he had to often take a loan from the moneylender, and when he failed to pay the rent, he was evicted from the land he had cultivated from generations. So from generations he was cultivating on that land. He was working on that farm, okay, from generation, but he has to now he is not able to give the money to the money lender. Money lender has come there, and he is just taking the loan on loan, and he is not able to pay back the loan to the money lender. You can see in this picture.